In this lesson, you will learn to divide a whole number by a unit fraction. Let's start with a whole number divided by a whole number, and let's look by looking at this question. How many 2 seconds are there in 4 seconds? And it's asking us to divide 4 seconds by 2 seconds. 4 divided by 2. I'm going to move this up. And let me grab these and move them up. Each one of these squares represents 1 full second for a total of 4. Okay, so we have 4 seconds and we want to divide this into 2. So I'm going to draw this line and make a circle here, and here's the second circle, and we can see that we have one group of 2 and we have 2 groups of 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So now let's take a look at dividing a whole number by a fraction. So up here at the top we have the question. We have the question. Let me erase. How many third hour periods will make up 4 hours? I'm going to rewrite this as an expression. So I have a total of 4 hours, and now I need to divide by a third. Let's take a look at this. So the 4 hours is represented here by 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, and 4 hour. I want to divide each one of these hours by a third. Well, this 3 tells me I need to divide each of these into 3 equal parts, and I'll do my best here. May not be exact. And one more. Now I'm going to shade in and count. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I have 12 thirds. Now it's going back up here to 4 divided by a third. So I'm going to multiply 4 times the reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3. 4 groups of 3 is 12. Let's go back to this 1/3. And I mentioned that I wrote down the reciprocal of it. Well, let's remind ourselves what a reciprocal is. A reciprocal is a pair of numbers that when multiplied together equals 1. So if I had 1/3, and if I multiply that times 3 over 1, which is the reciprocal of 1/3, I have 1 times 3 and 3 times 1. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. So this 3 over 1 is the reciprocal of 1/3. And if I had the number 5, what would you think is the reciprocal of 5? So 5 is 5 over 1, so the reciprocal is 1/5. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 5 is 5, and 5 over 5 equals 1. Okay, so we are taking the reciprocal of 1/3 and multiplying it times our whole number. Andrea bought 3 oranges. She cut each orange into halves. How many pieces of oranges did she have? So she has 3 oranges, each one of these circles is going to represent an orange. So I have 1 orange, 2, and 3. Let me grab them and move them. There we go. Okay, so there's 3 oranges. And I should cut them into halves. So let's start with the equation here. So 3 oranges dividing into halves. So to write halves is this fraction here. So 3 divided by halves. I'm going to divide these oranges into 2 equal parts because that's what our fraction is telling us. And one more. And as I shade them in, I'm going to count them. Let's see. 1. I'm going to count to see how many halves there are. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 halves. Write the number down here. Let's go back and look at the equation. So we're going to write 3 times the reciprocal of a half, which is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so let's now move on to solving the equation without drawing a picture. 4 divided by 1/3 equals. Pause the video and try this. So it's 4 times 3, which is 12. 1 divided by 1/8. So 1 divided by 1/8. And I'm going to give you another one, 7 divided by 1/6. Okay, can you work those problems out and solve them before I show you how I work them out? Okay, so I take 1, I'm multiplying that whole times the reciprocal of 1/8, which is 8. And 1 times 8 is 8. And for 7 divided by 6, whole number 7, multiply it times the reciprocal of 1/6, which is 6. And 7 times 6 is 42. In this lesson, you learned to divide a whole number by a unit fraction.